Let's make something. Something beautiful together.
Hey guys, welcome to the Ace of Plays channel and to another custom card review. It's your boy with a fresh new do. Like and subscribe. And yeah, we're getting ready for another custom card review. If you're like me and you think that Gwent right now is kind of a shit show, it pains me to say it, but it's not fun. The meta is not very enjoyable. But if you're like me and you feel this way, then it must be nice to be able to sit down and enjoy another custom card review. I got 10 cards for you today. They're all pretty cool. None of my own this time around, but we've got some awesome people creating cards, so I don't need to make any cards. If you want to know how you can submit your own custom cards, just stick around till the end of the video, and I'll give you all the info you need. Well, let's get started. This first card comes from DECKARD KAINE. This is Grimur, Dark Arts. Skellige card, a human, cultist, druid. Awesome tags, awesome art. Let's see what it does. It's got Zeal. Order, spawn and summon an enemy unit whose power is less than or equal to all allied cultists, and give it a cloned status. A cloned unit has no abilities. Whenever a cloned unit takes damage, all other copies of this unit take the same amount of damage. I love this. I love this. So, if you didn't quite get that, let us say that you have 4 cultists on the board. It says all allied cultists, so I'm guessing since it's an order, it should count itself. But let's say you have 4 cultists on the board, and your opponent has a fire scorpion. They're 4 strength now. This guy allows you to spawn and summon. It's probably a copy, a copy of Fire Scorpion, and you give it a clone status. So it loses its abilities, but whenever the cloned Fire Scorpion takes damage, so does every other copy of it on the board, including your opponent's copies. This is a similar concept to the Double Agent, I think I called it, a card that I made, which was a spy that copied itself on your side and then copied all effects onto all the copies. That's a lot of copy. A lot of copies of the word copy. But yeah, this does it in a really cool way. And of course, the obvious synergy is Self-Wound, because if you put this clone unit next to a Svalbard Priest, like, you'll do the same old Svalbard Priest thing, but you'll also be damaging your opponent's Fire Scorpion, in this example. So, I love this card. I would have no idea how to balance this, but this is such a cool ability, such an awesome card for Self-Wound. Cultists, they're all about that Self-Wound, so it works. And yeah, I really enjoy this. And of course, if they have multiple copies of the card you cloned, you get double value. So really good card, DECKARD KAINE. Thank you so much. A returning player, both in the terms of the card and the person who made the card, Alan Castilla, or Alan Castilla, I debated this last time, has given us another edition, I guess, of Ceres Fearless. 11 provisions, 4 strength, gain 1 charge every time you damage an enemy unit. So already, we're going to see a lot of charges. Zeal. Order, on the ranged row, use a number of charges equal to the provision cost of a unit in your graveyard, then play it. So this is similar to a lot of things. Like Summoning Circle, I'm thinking of. The old Roche Merciless kind of resembles this. There's a lot going on here. But basically it turns your damage into additional value in the form of being able to resurrect something from a graveyard with a certain provision cost. And if you were able to deal 4 damage the same turn you play this with a couple of Dim and Light Longships, Crack and Crate Ping, you take, what's it called? Harold Houndsnout Skull. you might be able to resurrect a 4 provision card right away with this, and then it keeps going in the same vein as Summoning Circle. It's very disruptible, very expensive, and I think at best you'd be able to maybe resurrect a 4 provision card immediately without risking losing this, and even then, like, the setup would be huge. But I do love it, like a provision-based Summoning Circle-like effect for your graveyard in Skellige. That is cool. Great work. Alright, this is a card that I've been seeing. I've been seeing it around, so I don't know actually who made this, but it was submitted by FLÓRIÁN TÓTH, who I believe also is a returning player to the custom card review series. This is Bork, whom I believe this is like the human form of Villain Trettenmirth. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's a 5-strength neutral gold. Just activates every bonded ability. So I'm assuming this means that as long as this guy's on the board, he counts as like the second half of every bonded that you have on the board. So if you have like one, what's it called, cut up lackey, this guy would work as another cut up lackey. I should really start shutting down GOG when I do this. And then if you also play like a Slice Seductress, this would also count as a Slice Seductress. So it's just, this guy is like the second part of every bonded that you play on the board. That is a cool ability. That's like a passive, ongoing ability that makes, like, it enables your combos and makes them easier to use. I mean, it also just gives you like a third copy of any bonded card in your deck, just to more consistently be able to trigger bonded. Because, you know, something I've noticed with Plumard and Cintran Enchantress, I never draw both. Never. With this, you don't have to. I'm guessing like it doesn't like get the bonded. Like it just acts like get a bonded on the. It's a complicated card, but it's very cool. I like abilities like this. I like this idea, and like if this character is anything like his art, where he's like all about, you know, bonding. Okay, and this is a really fitting ability. So great work. I love this card. All right, I believe we have featured, if not this character tier, we've definitely featured this art before. I'm seeing this used a lot, and I get it. It's awesome. This is another Skellige card. This is not intentional that we have so many Skellige cards. Holy shit, I didn't even pay attention to that. But this is tier is in Human Warrior, Skellige 4th strength. When an allied warrior goes to the graveyard, move this unit from your deck to the graveyard. When you use a warrior you control, destroy enemy unit, summon this unit from the graveyard on a random row. So, like, the wording is, no offense to Arsent, who made this. The wording is weird. But I will be reviewing this card as if it did the following. When an allied warrior is moved to the graveyard, this guy follows. So if like you can Darren it, you can discard it, or it can be killed. And then this guy comes out of your deck straight to the graveyard. So it thins, but it doesn't give you tempo. But whenever one of your warriors destroys an enemy unit, then this guy comes up. So it's like similar to Roach, Ceres Fearless, and of course Flying Redanian. But going more with the warrior theme, the graveyard theme. Very Skellige, and I really like it. If it functions the way that I just tried to explain, then this is really cool. Really cool. Especially with, like, if it works like if a warrior is moved to the graveyard, similar to Morkvarg's ability. You know, he can be discarded, he can be killed, he can be moved with Darren. Like, if he triggers from any effect that moves a warrior to the graveyard in any way, then I think it's really good. At 10 provisions, like, that's where you find Roach, Redanian. Right, Redanian is a 10, right? It better be a 10. But tier, pretty good. I think we have another version of tier coming up today with a different art. I think. Let's go, let's see what's coming up next. Benoit. I'm assuming it's Benoit, not Benoit. Although Benoit is a pretty cool name. This comes from Salade Tomato Sognons. Maybe it's Italian. Salade Tomato Sognone. Hope you can't hear the guy mowing the lawn outside too well. 2 strength, 9 provisions, Nilfgaard human unit. Which is always nice. Doppler, hello. Deploy, choose a boosted unit, and boost stealth by the same amount. So if this guy can target allies and enemies, then you can for sure ensure that this guy gets some good value. And of course, like, if your opponent has an Osrul, it's been eating an old spirit tip, it's boosted by 12, boom, Benoit is a 14. As far as balance goes, I mean, he requires some setup. Like, if your opponent isn't heavy on the boost, then you have to be heavy on the boost, so you're playing into both types of resets. It has to be boost, not just high power, so you're really playing into resets, you're playing into tall unit removal. Benoit himself plays into those types, so he might actually be balanced. In terms of provisions and power, at least, I really like him. Yeah, and of course, like like enemy boosting archetype. Like, this guy is not strictly enemy boosting archetype. You can use him. I mean, like, you can use him like if you have a Doppler that's boosted by 7. This guy comes down as a 9 for 9, and you probably play Doppler in this guy, in a deck with this guy, Benoit. So it's pretty cool. But of course, with the enemy boosting archetype, your opponent plays, let's again say Osrul onto Spirit Tip, it's boosted by 12, but hey, we got enough Guardian Knight, boosted up to 14. This guy boosts by 14. It's pretty good value. Right? I'm not wrong here. But again, like, you're playing into all sorts of cards. But like, if you're playing a deck that already plays into all forms of tall unit removal, then why not a little more? Holy Guacamole has sent us a Naze Lavalette. A human. Is it a girl? Is it a woman? She looks young. 2 strength, 10 provisions. Deploy, play a soldier from your deck. Okay, a tutor for soldiers. That's pretty good in Northern Realms. So we can compare this to Royal Decree, but also like the faction tutors. You know, because she's a 2 strength unit that tutors. You know, and they are at 8 provisions. I think it's fair that this is more expensive because it tutors a unit, which I just feel is really good. And soldier is a pretty good tag for Northern Realms these days, so that's pretty good. And of course, it's a Royal Decree with a 2 strength body, as long as you only play soldiers. So like, you lose a little bit of flexibility, so I believe you should be able to gain power from that. And of course, it's a faction specific card. Royal Decree is neutral, so I think this is fairly well balanced. And it's really good because like it puts a human on the board if you play Draug, but then you also play another human on the board for Draug and other effects. Isn't Roach Merciless soldier? I think Werner Roche, both of them are soldiers, which is really good to be able to tutor out with a Naze Lavalette. So this is pretty hype. That's a Temerian symbol, right? She's a Temerian? That's hot. What am I even saying? But yeah, like it's just a straight up tutor for soldier cards, and I think the balance is pretty much on point. So I mean, I like it. I would like to see more tutors for specific tags. You know, because like it might be more balanced because you have to get a certain type of unit. It's not like Royal Decree where you get any unit. So it's probably something we might see in the future. Who knows? Alright, here we go. Like I said, another tier this time. Different art style. But this is also a very much used art for Skellige cards. can't blame him. He's awesome. He's a human warrior, 5 strength. On the melee row, the number of damaged friendly units counts towards triggering your bloodthirst abilities. Now, this is a type of ability I wanted to make for a long time, but I couldn't get it right. But I mean, it can be this simple. This is probably very strong. It's definitely very strong. Because, I mean, Excalibur with Self-Wound, they have so much control of how many damage units are on their side of the board. And then you play this guy and you have all the Bloodthirst you want. You could play Bloodthirst cards in Self-Wound if you had a way to play Tier consistently. That would be pretty cool. Is he shirtless? He looks shirtless now that I think about it. He sliced up pretty good, but he did kill a bear, so power to you. And he is a warrior, so, you know, aced. Could just resurrect this guy, and then on the same turn, play some big boy Bloodthirst. Svanrogga is a warrior, right? So, why not? That's pretty good. I think this is a good effect. Like, it's similar to Bork in terms of just being a passive ability that is on the board and that enables your combos a little bit more. So I'm definitely down with cards like this. I want to see more like this. Hint, 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 hint. I want to see more custom cards in general. Guys, give me more custom cards. This is so fun. I want to keep doing this. Like, when Gwent is a shit show, it's nice to be able to do this instead. I hope you agree. Moving on. By the way, guys, that last card, I think I maybe forgot to mention it, was also submitted by HOLYGUACAMOLE. And this one is also sent by Salad Tomatos Onions. I don't know how to say that, but I like the way I say it. This is Abigail. Human. Alchemist. Lover. 3 strength. Did I say she was neutral? I mean, you can see it on the screen, but did I say it? Deploy in the melee row, poison 2 adjacent units. Deploy on the distance row, which is French, for ranged. Now just hit me that Salad Tomatos Onions must be French. I have no idea how to say that in a Frenchish accent, so we're gonna stick with the Italian one. But yeah, deploy on the ranged row, Purify 2 adjacent units. So on the ranged row, she's similar to Kudak, but she can purify enemies, which he cannot do because he purifies adjacent to himself. Well, I'm actually kind of thinking that poisoning 2 adjacent units, if they're not adjacent to this unit itself, that would be kind of wonky on the board, because like, you'd hover a unit, but which of the ones to the side would it pick? I mean, it would probably be fairly simple to just implement the system for that. Like, it always picks the one to the right. You know, so you don't want to target the rightmost unit. You want to target the second the rightmost unit, because then it also targets the rightmost unit. That'll work. At 7 provisions, like, the range row ability is probably not very good. I mean, adjacency can always be played around. But poisoning 2 adjacent units, again, can be played around. Like, you could have, like, oh, big boy target and then a 1 strength. But applying double poison is good. It's good. I mean, this would probably see play in poison decks. That much is true. What else could it be played in? What kind of a dumbass says shit like that? Oh, this poison card will only be played in poison decks. You think? And it's cool, but maybe it's actually underpowered. I don't know. Like, poison is so weird because, like, on paper, like, poison, okay, two poisons and you can kill anything. That's so good, but like, poison is like underwhelming in terms of archetypes, and You don't want to make it too strong, but I don't know. Let me know down below what you think. Help me rate this card. Help me. Help you. Custom card review. Next up, we have a rework made by MCon. This is a rework of Siri Nova. 15 strength, 10 provisions. Deploy, destroy self. If you have exactly 17 bronze cards in your starting deck, cancel deploy ability. So this definitely is more in line with how she used to be originally. Like, she had a condition, a deck building condition similar to Shoop, where this was in beta when we had 3 copies of bronzes, but she said if you have exactly 2 copies of each bronze, she was just a big card. Like, you could, like, she was like 1 and she strengthened herself to like 22 towards the end, which was big. So this is like that. It's like a deck building requirement. 17 bronzes plus this as an 18th card would leave you with 7 remaining cards that could be golds. But you would have this card, and it was pretty big. And of course, it's base power, like 15 base power for 10 provisions. Big Monsters says hello. I guess Hjalmar Crate can also say hello if he wants to. But when is he ever going to get a target this big? I mean, it's good, like 15 for 10, like that's a really strong ability. And bronzes are pretty good right now. And I think they're just going to keep getting better with more reworks and upgrades. So this could actually be viable. Straight up 15 points, 10 provisions. It's pretty good. I like it. I like it a lot. We're going to finish off with another cool deck building based card. Another card by Holy Guacamole. This is Oniromancy. It's a spell for Northern Realms. Sadly, it cannot be tutored anymore. I'm pretty sure this was posted back when Kira still tutored spells. So this is now probably worse than the Holy Guacamole intended, but it's still very cool. They didn't dare put a provision cost on this because, you know, like me, they're probably not comfortable balancing cards. But this is a cool one. Play a bronze unit from your deck. If your starting deck contained more than 25 cards, play an additional bronze unit from your deck. This is spicy. This is so spicy. Like, being able to tutor 2 bronze units from your deck, that's great. And like, the additional thinning only comes into play if your deck is just already bigger than your opponent's deck will probably ever be. So it's not like you're at a super advantage. Like, you're only getting an extra thinning because you're playing an extra card, so like your deck will be the same thickness. And also, by adding like a 26th card, like the average provisions per card in your deck goes down. So again, having a card like this that can definitely give you a strong payoff for that is very, very cool. I mean, like, there are so many things you can do with this. Like, it's like, imagine Portal, except you can take any bronze units you want and you play them instead of summoning them. So this is a really strong ability. But I think, like, with the price that you have to pay to be able to play this at its maximum power level, which is the insane power level, like, the requirement is pretty harsh. Like, you make your deck less consistent, you make the average power level per card lower. So I don't think this would have to be priced too high. And honestly, I don't think it can be priced too high because you have to fit in a 26th card, which is hard with the provision system. So this couldn't be priced too high, but I don't even think it would have to be. Oh, this is so cool. And the art is trippy as hell, and I love it. And yeah. Gotta turn off GOG before recording these videos. But yeah, Oneiromancy, I love this card. I love the idea of it. I love it as a payoff for pretty brutal deck building requirements. But I think it's a good payoff. Like being able to play double engines, being able to play like 2 cards at once that aren't 4 provision units. I mean, it's so many combos, like what to do, what to say, what to think of. It's just awesome. But yeah, great work, and great work to everyone who submitted cards for this video. To anyone who submits cards in general, I really appreciate you doing it. It's so awesome to see all your cool ass submissions. And if you want to know how to submit your own custom cards, here we go. It's the end of the video. You can send them to me on Twitter. You can send them to me on Discord. Either post them in the custom cards channel on the Discord of Plays, or you can just DM me on Discord. Why did I blank on that word? And links for those are down below. You can also send them to me via email, aceofplaysyt@gmail.com. It'll also be in the bottom of the description. Send me your cards, guys. Let's keep this custom card train going. This is so much fun. I really like enjoying these cards. I really like being able to do videos like this, looking at user-generated content, and occasionally sprinkling in some of my own. Because I know a lot of people enjoy custom cards, both creating them and watching them, seeing them. Sorry, non-English speaker. Thank you. This is a lot of fun, and I urge you to keep this going. Send me more cards, create cards, get creative. We just got to rework, so there's probably a lot of new abilities, new card effects that you can now think of that you want to see in the game. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more custom card related videos, leave a like down below to let me know that this is something you like. That's why it's called the like button. And of course, if you haven't already, do consider subscribing to the Ace of Plays channel. I'm really working hard to improve my content for you guys, so show me some love, please. And until next time, have a good one, and I will see you soon.